Need high-quality video to promote your event, business, or band? We can help.
We're Pixel Pond, a video production team based in the Pacific Northwest, providing high-quality content to clients across the U.S. and Canada.
Whether you want coverage of your live event to promote for next year, or need a camera and a camera operator for your next big project, we can accommodate projects of all sizes.
Your story is important. Visit pixelpondllc.com or send an email to info@pixelpondllc.com to get started today. We can't wait to work with you.
Parental warning. This podcast contains references to drug and alcohol use, pornography, anal lingus, big naturals, choking the chicken, and bringing an al dente noodle to the spaghetti house. Please podcast responsibly.
Coming up on Gamers Week podcast. Because how many times have you espoused, you're done, I'm done with Call of Duty.
No.
Call of Duty is stupid.
I've espoused that I wasn't spending any more money on Call of Duty. And yes, a few of those have trickled through where I was like, come on, you're coming out with this skin. I got to run around the map as this person. And just last month I bought the Beavis and Butthead skin pack so I could, run around like.
That was a necessity, clearly.
It was, 14-year-old me needed to have the Beavis and Butthead nostalgia.
It's thinking like a Pauly Shore skin, right?
What's up, buddy? Juice in the weeds?
No.
Okay, that could possibly be.
On Saturday night, Mr. Blue and I went to a hotel bar just to hang out. And this bar stopped serving food at 9:00. So we had gotten there prior to. I just got some fries to go with our cocktails. Mm-hmm. And only ate half of them. And then start noticing more and more people are arriving because there's a big wedding party staying at the hotel. And half the guests are drunk off their ass. And they're all looking for food, and there is none. So a lady sits down next to me, and she is ready to jump over the bar top and throttle the bartender because he has no food. And Mr. Blue leans over to me and says, "We should just give her our fries." And I was like, who wants cold, half-eaten fries from a stranger?
Drunk
hungry people.
And then no sooner do we have this little exchange before I feel this woman tapping me on the shoulder. And she says, "Excuse me, I can't help but notice you seem to have finished with your fries. And no one here will give me food." She says, "Will you give me your fries? Can I buy your fries?" I was like, "That's not necessary. You can just have them if you really want them." She says, No. I will do anything to get these fries."
Anything?
Was she good looking?
Yes. And that's exactly what Mr. Blue next to me, he starts snickering. I'm like, no, we're not going to take advantage of somebody who's drunk and willing to eat strangers' cold fries.
Well, why not?
I was like, it's not necessary. You can just have the cold fries. It's fine. And she's like, no, I'm going to buy you guys a drink. Get whatever you want. The most expensive one. You can have it. I'm like, no, again, not necessary. You can just have the fries.
This story could have turned out way cooler than it's turned out.
Right?
Yeah, that was the other conversation we had afterwards. These are the other ways we could have played this. But yeah, eventually at the end, I think she forgot about us. She never did buy us the drink. But I look over at one point, she's eating all the fries and she's licking her fingertip and putting it on the plate to get all the seasoning salt and then licking it off her fingers again. She's that desperate.
You'll have that.
She sounds like a fun time. I noticed you didn't finish your fries.
Lay off, I'm starving. I guess you guys have never seen that bit. It did not
I
get
have.
the reaction.
Yeah.
But okay. So you just ignored me. That's fine. That's where we're at in this relationship. That's okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
All the passion has gone out, I guess.
So I was told that I fought an easy chair at high school when I was drunk at a party.
Fought one.
Because
Did you win, though?
I don't know. Marilyn
You were
Manson's The Beautiful
told.
People was playing, and I was told that I started wailing on this chair. And yeah.
I need to party with you, man.
I don't remember it, but there we are.
Lovely. Well, on that note, why don't we go ahead and kick things off? Welcome to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, the worst, and the weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. This is episode 178, and today is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. My name is Ryan, aka retrogamebrews, and I will be your host for this evening, but I am not alone. I have two completely imperfect strangers sitting across from me. The first of which is a petri dish of disgusting germs, a menagerie of pathogens, and the plague incarnate, and we hope that she feels better soon. Blue, how are you doing today?
I will have you call me by my proper name of Typhoid Mary. Thank you very much.
Just call you Patient Zero.
You need to put some respect on my name.
I apologize.
The power of Christ compels you.
And next up, I have a man whose personal motto and sage advice is, if you tongue kiss the beehole, then the mouth, you've got a problem. Donnie, how you doing today?
You go the other way around. You never, it's if you start with the mouth and then you go, it's perfectly fine. But if you start with the other one and then go to the mouth, everybody's going to end up in the hospital. I am doing great, by the way. Thank you.
Did you know that you were going to come to this podcast and be educated on the ways?
Yes, every single time is a learning experience for me.
Is.
I gain something new. Like the old stuff just goes out. Like song lyrics, movie quotes, all that stuff goes out. And what I take in from this podcast goes right in here.
I bet you take a lot in.
I was going to say, I doubt very much he's losing much in the way of movie quotes and song lyrics. I'm pretty sure that's all that's in there.
Nice. All right, moving on. Want to start your own podcast, maybe about Probe to Table, an alien cooking show that teaches audiences to use every part of their harvested humans? You need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help grow your audience. Use the link in the description and get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. And let's jump into our reviews, reactions, and requests, starting with Holy Headshot. I don't have a dog in this race, but I'll play devil's advocate. You can't get adult content in Target or Walmart. No one has ever complained about that. Steam is the place to go for PC gamers, kind of like digital big box place.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But the difference is that Target and Walmart decided themselves what they were going to sell and what they weren't. Right. It's not a third party coming in and saying, all of a sudden, you can't sell condoms if you want to, because we don't like them. We decided we don't like them. So, I mean, that's where the problem is when it's a third party deciding for you what you can sell.
Correct.
I can only imagine a new adults only section at your local Target or Walmart and just how well that would go over. Ryan's intrigued, but
yeah, I don't hate this idea. Could be a one-stop shop for me.
Yeah,
all your needs in one place. That's a true big box store.
Next up by Funyuns. Guys, you can get Withers Big Naturals on PS5. I have it myself, like all distinguished chaps would. I haven't looked into this, but I will now.
I thought you were going to spend the weekend doing your Big Naturals mods.
Hello, chap. You mean you have a PS5 and you don't have the Big Naturals? Not distinguished.
My word.
Tekin85 says, I can't believe AI lied to me when I looked it up. So much time wasted not having Withers Big Naturals.
And last up from Gaming and Games, that awkward pause of grown adult saying, I just had my first sexual encounter.
We were all really proud of you, Ryan.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I was not discriminatory whatsoever. I had all types of relationships, right? Male, female, werebear. It all works out.
Oh, you managed to score with the werebear.
I did.
Nice.
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 It's very gentle. All right, why don't we go ahead and shout out our patrons?
We couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Michael, there's something out there waiting for us, and it ain't no man. LaKite, Emo-esque, Bill Tucker, you know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Fruitcakes, I hate it when my shorts get twisted, Pickled Pepper. Ducks with Thick Thighs, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress. Bobson Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Loud Moth, Retro Blast Pat, B&T Zilla Guy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Snacks, The Handsome Chef, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, Terry Canair, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over, Games with Coffee, Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Davey PGH, The Pixel Pond Family, including Shannon and Luke, Zach, aka Old Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, #1 Blue Sick Voice fan, you're getting a treat tonight. John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, Rai Wants This Boy's Soul, Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, and more Adib. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You'll also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits, now with less hiatus. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek, or follow the link in the show notes to learn more.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into our headlines?
This headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things, starting with deep dives into every movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. 1999's box office hit The Mummy is a remake of a 1932 film of the same name, spawning multiple sequels and spin-offs, an animated series, and 4 games, not including a canceled Dreamcast version. Whereas the 2017 remake The Mummy was a turd, yet it inspired a positively reviewed Metroidvania-styled game named what?
It's a turd.
Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes. And in typical Zach fashion, you must get the full name.
I'm going to bow out of this one because you know me. I love Metroidvanias clearly, so I know all of them.
I don't have a clue. I saw a little bit of, isn't that the one with Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. It was not interesting at all to me. I have no idea what game it inspired. So couldn't tell you.
The Mummy.
Redacted.
Hi-yo!
You guys laugh, but
That is the name of it.
that's actually what it's called.
Oh,
The Mummy.
Redacted.
We've talked about it on the show before.
What?
okay.
It might have been like a year or so, but an example of a odd licensed game that's actually really, really good.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
Frank was just like pulling our chain and being trying
I
to be
thought
funny.
so
But
too.
yeah, the Mummy.
Redacted.
Okay.
Frank knows his If you would like to hear more about The Mummy, I was a guest on the latest episode of Absolutely the Best Podcast where we talk about the 1999 movie, The Mummy. It's not Blue Sick Voice. It's just normal voice. But you should still
Just
check it
normal
out.
voice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so why don't we go ahead and check out our first headline. After the bug-riddled launch of Battlefield 2042 back in 2021, EA has been working to revitalize the Battlefield series name. If the recent Battlefield 6 beta over the weekend is any indication, those efforts are paying off. Roughly a month ago, ARS Technica reported that EA's executive leadership had set a goal of 100 million players for the upcoming Battlefield game, which very few developers believe is achievable. For reference, it took Call of Duty roughly a year during the height of the pandemic, no less, to reach that 100 million player mark. Obviously, Battlefield has never achieved those numbers before, stated one source, while another said it's important to understand that over about the same period, 2042 had only gotten 22 million. However, EA is calling Battlefield 6 Open Beta its biggest ever, and Weekend 1, August 9th through the 10th, just wrapped up. On Saturday, the Open Beta peaked at 521,079 players, which also is an all-time peak for the entire Battlefield series, and that number eclipses the peak of Call of Duty at 491,672. Though it's important to note that these are just Steam numbers, and console players could sway this observation in either direction. Battlefield will Bootstomp COD this year, former Blizzard boss Mike Ybarra declared on Twitter. But the real win here is COD won't be lazy anymore, and we'll all get a better FPS games for it. But the true test is how many of these open beta, aka free players, will convert into paid players when Battlefield 6 launches on October 10th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
So Ducks in Disguise is saying, I played it, it was fun. And You Fall Before Me says, yeah, not bad. My wife got me to play it and we had a decent time.
And Doogie Forever says, LOL, Battlefield won't do
Suck it, nerd.
This is the new Battlefield. They're in their new era, their prosperous era, their money-making era, or they want us to believe they are.
I mean, I've never played a Battlefield game, so I'm probably not the right person to say whether I think it's possible or not. I will say that 100 million players, though, is a hell of an achievement for any game whatsoever. Mm-hmm. It's nice that EA, despite my disdain for them, have some big goals for this game. But if it doesn't reach it, we know how EA runs. So what happens then? Are they like pushing all the chips in? Because that's what it feels like a little bit for this one. So who's going to get laid off if this doesn't work out?
Those are some impressive numbers that they're trying to reach. You think about a game like World of Warcraft that as of within the past 30 days, like in June of this year, they had 7 million players, 7 million active players.
Wow.
Still playing that game. Now, whether or not that was the free tier or what have you, or if they were actually grinding and leveling up and still paying for the content. I played Battlefield once, like maybe around 2015. It was okay, but it wasn't. It just seemed like wacky and crazy, and really didn't do anything to keep me coming back for more. I am kind of over Call of Duty and Warzone. I have not played in about 2.5 weeks. I have no desire to log in. I think the pandemic era is over. Call of Duty is primarily done for me, and I don't see myself getting involved with Battlefield 6 at all.
You sound to me like a dry drunk, the kind of person who's still planning on drinking but tells everybody that they're not.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Because how many times have you espoused the fact that you're done? I'm done with Call of Duty.
No.
Call of Duty's stupid.
I've espoused that I wasn't spending any more money on Call of Duty. And yes, a few of those have trickled through where I was like, I mean, come on, you're coming out with this skin. I got to run around the map as this person. And just like, last month I bought the Beavis and Butthead skin pack so I could, run around like.
That was a necessity, clearly.
It was, 14-year-old me needed to have the Beavis and Butthead nostalgia.
I was thinking like a Pauly Shore skin. Right?
What's up, buddy? Juice in the weeds?
No.
Okay, that could possibly be.
I get you, man. I get you.
Do we need a whiteboard of Donnie saying he's done with COD, says Frank?
I mean, maybe I can get another board. I think this is interesting news for a couple reasons. One, it shows that there is still a extreme hunger for war-based FPS games, and that people are looking for something beyond the Call of Duty monopoly on this genre. And I think Mike Ibarra has a point in that Call of Duty has been resting on its laurels for a long time, and people are wanting something besides their rinse and repeat formula that they've been seeing for the last 20, 25 years, however much it is.
For sure.
100 million players, though, I don't think they're going to make it. The pandemic was a special time when everybody had all that they needed to do with their lives. And so, of course, why not hop into a free-to-play battle royale where you can still maintain relationships with your friends and family or whatever over this video game? Battlefield is still wanting to have a paid campaign. They're apparently also going to include a free battle royale mode that I think they're hoping will take them to that 100 million number, but I think it's going to be a real stretch. They probably got such big numbers during this first beta because people are curious whether it's worth their time. But it may just be pop in, check it out. It was fine. We're going to go back to our old, same old.
Well, and to that notion, you will have a few people spend the money on the game, check it out, and just be like, whatever, and then go do something else.
Think about it too, like 100 million. Essentially, that's 1 in 3 Americans, from a scale perspective, would be signing on to play Battlefield. That's absolutely nuts if you think about that. I mean, granted, there's like 8 billion people in the world, but still, that's not chump change. I mean, Call of Duty did it, correct?
Warzone did.
100 million? It did?
Yeah. But it's Warzone's free, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Warzone dropped in 2020, and it was like April 2021. It hit 100 million players.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. In April 2021. So depending on the elements that Battlefield brings to the table, they could possibly get there. If they have a free battle royale, if they have something that they expect people to pay for, like as a subscription base, I don't think they're going to do it.
No. But then also, it's going to take way longer than a year.
Yeah, of course.
And who knows if that's even the time frame they have set. But like, instead of people sitting down at their computer and saying, this is all I have to do today, they're going to be like, well, I got to go to work. I got to do the laundry. I got to pick up the kids and drop them off here and then pick them up again. And if I'm lucky, I can squeeze in an hour before bed. Like, it's just,
it's different.
It's different. It's going to take way longer if they can get there at all. It's good to have goals, though.
Agreed.
But to Ryan's point, I hope they're not punishing their developers for failing to meet certain benchmarks.
Right. Because EA is such a good company.
EA got an EA.
They could have microtransaction bullets.
You ran out of bullets. Better buy some more.
Yeah.
Right. It's 1 cent a bullet. All right, next up, teeing itself up for a fantastic own goal, Nintendo has contacted the organizers of RTA, one of Japan's largest speedrunning charity events, and wagged their big legal finger. RTA has been raising money since 2014, and well, Nintendo has had enough. In a notice posted on the site, RTA explains, RTA in Japan has previously used Nintendo games, but on June 13th, 2025, Nintendo Corporation Limited pointed out that the use of Nintendo games by a corporation requires prior permission, and that our previous use was without prior permission and constituted unauthorized use. RTA in Japan wishes to continue using Nintendo games and has begun discussions with Nintendo Corporation Limited regarding the permissions. However, because RTA's next event is just around the corner, starting in August, Nintendo has successfully cajoled the organizers into not using Nintendo games for this one, which is kind of a big deal, given how central, like, Super Mario 64 are to the speedrunning community. That's sort of the reason for all of this, beyond Nintendo continuing to be jerks. Japanese game publishers are often far stricter about what counts as copyright infringement when it comes to streaming their games on their home turf. And in 2022, a man was even arrested by CODA, Japan's Content Overseas Distribution Agency. Regardless, it seems that for now, Mario is safe from being used to raise money for good causes in Japan.
Now, I started reading this, and I was giving Nintendo a huge thumbs down dislike for this. Mm-hmm. But then one thing caught my eye. One sentence, one phrase. The use of Nintendo games by a corporation requires prior permission because they're going to use that probably to raise money for whatever it is. So in that case, I kind of am on Nintendo's side a little bit, but still in the whole grand scheme of things, like I know as far as PRGE, like when they have tournaments and stuff like that they want to use these games for, they have to go and get a license to be able to have people compete in these things. I don't get that. I don't understand that. Where it's a convention, we're going to have people, we're going to give away prizes, and we want people to play this game. Why wouldn't you want that type of exposure?
I wouldn't put a ton of weight on that corporation line because it is a translation.
Oh, that's fair.
Okay.
Well, the only thing I'm going to say is this is, do we know what percentage of the proceeds that they get go to charity?
I don't know. I just looked it up and it says that they're categorized as a general incorporated association, which is a type of nonprofit structure in Japan.
Gotcha. So it's like what is it, HOC3 or whatever?
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Whatever you say, boss.
I totally probably messed that up too. So feel free to correct me.
TKN85 says Donnie going full late stage capitalism on us.
Yeah, he's a shill for Nintendo. I don't know if you can do that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But even with this, you're doing it for a charity event. That should be exceptions, right? There should be exceptions. If you're using our game to then get all this money for your own corporation that you're going to, like pay your shareholders and everything like that. Nope. Get prior approval and all that stuff. Get a license. If you're a charity event or if you're doing this for charity, where most, if not all of the proceeds are going to go to charity, then throw people a frickin' bone. And
to play into that further, I get it. The only thing that would concern me, so like if I'm sitting from Nintendo's point of view, right? If it's a good cause, it's probably likely a good cause. But do I know where the money's going? Do I want myself associated with where that's going to go? Right. So let's pretend that they're giving money to some charity. That charity does X, Y, and Z with the money. That charity then ends up being a fraud charity or something. That would be not a great look. The other piece to it, how much of a percentage of what they're taking in is going to charity? I know a lot of charities happen to pay their employees very handsomely before any money goes out the door. So again, they're using money, or they're gaining money as a result of this charity event, potentially to line their own pockets. That would be my concern, right? And then like the third one is, at this point, if it's so big, wouldn't it be great to partner with Nintendo, reach out to them and say, hey, we've been doing this thing for a while. We think that this would be a great PR move. Here's our case for it. So that's my only like devil's advocate moment, because I see exactly what you're talking about from the other's point of view. It's good for people, right? Chances are it's probably a good PR move, Nintendo anyway, to have somebody doing charity events, utilizing their IPs. I want to pause before I go, Nintendo's the worst company ever for this.
Simon Ashtier says, I think we can all think of a few organizations and causes we don't want our money going to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one or two.
Not every charity will align with your morals, your way of thinking, or what have you. So,
yeah, I can see this both ways. Obviously, this is an instance where you could say, well, what's the harm? It's going towards a good cause. It's making people happy, blah, blah, blah. And it is a bad look for Nintendo. But Nintendo, I guess, is not particularly worried about their PR. They manage that pretty well for the most part. The other thing that I can't overlook is that we talked about this, I think 2 years ago on the show, about how Nintendo dropped requirements for tournaments and charity events based on the size. This is what you do. They provided a path for you to get a license to use the game. It already exists long before this. And as this article says, these laws are much more prolific in Japan and much more strict than where you can go to jail over it. So RTA sounds like should have known better and should have done their homework. So while it's a bad look for Nintendo, I think it's also kind of a bad look for RTA.
I'm just imagining getting arrested and being in like the jailhouse and like you get like a really tough
what are you in for?
Yeah, like, well, what do you? I was in the Yakuza for the last 20 years. Oh yeah, what'd you get into? Streaming Mario 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, I think this article was pointing out it was kind of leaning towards that Nintendo is a piece of shit company.
Well, they are.
Yeah, I think that this is it's both, right? And it doesn't have to be one versus the other. Nintendo does not have to be the worst company that's ever been, and RTA needs to be squeaky clean and is, has no blame whatsoever to this.
Yeah. My sister actually works for a nonprofit, and part of her job is making sure that they have all their I's dotted and their T's crossed because they get audited all the time.
Think about it.
And that's just, if you want to be a nonprofit on the up and up, those are the kind of stuff that you have to be aware of and you have to do so that you can make sure that people can feel safe giving you their money.
So one of the RTA in Japan, one of the charities that they support is Doctors Without Borders.
Okay.
That is, I think, more of a generalistic charity that does good. It's not affiliated with a religion or a specific political aspect. It's about taking care of people and bringing care to people that wouldn't exactly be able to get it. So in that sense, I would think that, hey, Nintendo, come on, like this is for the greater good. They're raising money so people can actually go and help other people who are sick or who need medical attention and medical care. And Nintendo is niet, comrade.
Well, it's not like the event's not going to go on.
Right.
It's still going to go on, just with different games.
Yeah, they're going to use other games.
Yeah.
And you're talking about a Super Mario 64. It's a 30-year-old freaking game, almost a 30-year-old game. Give it a rest, Nintendo. I can understand that you're trying to do a speedrunning event for a game that just came out on the Switch or the Switch 2, but you're talking about the Nintendo 64.
Like, the best move Nintendo could do at this point is to make a massive donation to Doctors Without Borders.
They should.
Like, talk about, okay, so we don't want you using our stuff without our permission, but we recognize that this is a good cause, so let's donate. I mean, $20,000 to them, what's that?
Well, it's doubtful because they never even discount their own damn games.
This is true.
And they won't after they donate $20,000.
Here's
I get
$10.
it. I 100% get it. But on the other hand, Nintendo has been so super clear that this is not allowed.
Yep.
For a long time.
That's why people pirate your shit. Pirate your shit. Pirate your shit.
Whatever, Nintendo shills. All right, next up. Speaking of Nintendo.
Speaking of.
You don't say.
Nintendo's wading into the baby and toddler market with a new toy, clothing, and general goods range it's pulling together under the My Mario banner. And there's even a toddler-friendly stop-motion Mario series releasing to accompany the whole thing. My Mario is described as a series which parents and children can enjoy together, and includes a mix of Nintendo's own products alongside those of partner companies. It starts with Nintendo's new animated Mario series titled It's-a-Me, Mario stop-motion shorts, which will exist on the My Mario website and other channels. Each free episode is around a minute long and focuses on stop-motion Mario showing a variety of expressions and movements. Beyond that, My Mario website features a dizzying array of baby and toddler appropriate paraphernalia, including bowls and spoons, cute Mario... Excuse me.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I lost my spot. Website, dizzying array of baby and toddler appropriate paraphernalia, including bowls, spoons, cute Mario themed hoodies, t-shirts, picture books, bibs, pajamas, blankets, plushies, socks, rattles, and other bits and bobs. Nintendo's own biggie, though, is a 30-piece wooden block set that clocks in at 19,980 yen or $135. If that price hasn't scared you away, Nintendo's first wave of My Mario products arrives in Japan on August 26th. My Mario will launch elsewhere in the world beginning in 2026. To quote Dogma, stardom young. Oh, like the tobacco industry. If we only had their
numbers. I have concerns about this stop motion Mario series.
Really?
Yeah, because when you think of this, do you really see parents and children sitting at a computer together looking at this stuff? It's more so, here, stick your face in this iPad, leave me alone, and now you're rewiring your toddler's brain with all these visual images and stuff like that shouldn't be happening.
That's going to happen anyway, regardless of My Mario or not.
Nihilism.
No, not necessarily. It shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't be, but I don't think that if this My Mario site was not in existence, that parents would magically be like, no screens for my child, ever.
I'm going to say, from Nintendo's point of view, give all these kids brand stuff that they're going to grow up on. Mario this, Mario that, Rattle this, all that kind of stuff. Talk about brand loyalty, surrounded by it. That's kind of genius freaking marketing. And how many of those parents played Nintendo games back in the day? So they're going to see like, oh, this is cute. Look, she's got her Mario rattle, right?
I mean, it is super cute. That $135 wooden block set, it is so cute. It would be so perfect to like put the blocks up all around your gaming shelves and like your bookshelves. They are so cute. They're not $135 cute. But they're ridiculously cute. And when my nephew was born, I did get him a little like a teething toy in the shape of a Game Boy. And it was cute.
There you go. Yeah.
They're probably killing like the entire Etsy market that was already designed around this stuff.
Of course.
Also, how many collectors are going to buy all of this shit and keep it housed? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it falls in line with the parents who buy designer clothes for their babies and their toddlers that they wear for 3 months. And I've never quite understood that, but this seems geared towards that market of nostalgia baiting adults who have way too much money now. And you know what? More power to them if that's how they want to spend it. It'll be interesting to see if this has any longevity, though. But it also is, you can see Nintendo really clearly trying to push its way into new markets that it's never been in before.
And it seems like a natural transition for them. I mean, Mario itself is fairly cutesy, so I'm not surprised that they're going into kids stuff. It's very kid friendly anyway. So it's not like they're a cigarette company making Camel Joe rattles and stuff.
Or you know how Marlboro Miles or the camel things.
Camel Cash, yeah.
Yeah, Camel Cash was back in the 80s and 90s, so they did that with toddler stuff. Get your toddler a sweet little a Camel Joe jumpsuit.
Get a bib and be like, future customer or something.
Yeah. Unfiltered. Hashtag unfiltered.
Yeah.
How do you feel about nostalgia baiting or baiting? Just reminds me of Idiocracy.
Yeah. That's
Go away, baiting.
Baiting.
Brought to you by Carl's Jr.
All right, next up, should we create a Pepsi video game? The official Pepsi account asked on Twitter last week. In the LOL so wacky manner we've all come to expect from brands on social media in 2025. Turned out that there was something of a social media coup, as the post got orders of magnitude more engagement than most Pepsi posts, mostly from retro gaming enthusiasts reminding the account of the 1999 release of Pepsi Man. One of the many replies came from Kotaro Uchikashi, the longtime visual novel developer who has storied career going all the way back to the PS1 days when he was a 3D modeler on an infamous brand tie-in called Pepsi Man. I was a member of the development team for Pepsi Man video game released in 1999. Uchikashi said, in response to Pepsi's message, if you like, I can reach out to the people who developed the game at the time. Should I do that? Alas, it seems like the reply has gone unanswered. But the Pepsi account has at least acknowledged the classics, asking today, what was the first video game you ever played, and why was it a guy in a suit running down the street chased by a Pepsi can? The game stars the company's titular Japanese mascot of the era rushing to save dehydrated citizens with healing powers of Pepsi in an early example of an endless runner. Crash Bandicoot style sequence where Pepsi Man runs from a big obstacle such as a giant Pepsi can, and the live action cutscenes are particular highlights. The game's bizarre concept, absurd energy, and better than you think gameplay made it a cult classic years after its original release, and these days it's the kind of thing that goes for hundreds of dollars on eBay. It was never released outside of Japan, so it probably wasn't the first video game you ever played for much of the Pepsi account's audience, but it's become a particularly notable oddity among the PS1's vast library of unusual games.
So it appears the social media manager for Pepsi is not very well educated in the gaming sphere. Or old, right. Sam Disfaction says, luckily we never got Coke Man.
Isn't that Scarface, the game?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I think it's funny that plenty of people are getting exposed to the concept of Pepsi Man. Huge commercials back in the day in Japan that featured this character. Never something that was in the US, but definitely fits the prototypical wacky as fuck Japanese commercial, right? Mm-hmm. Where guy runs around and does crazy shit that involves the brand that he's talking about. It's always over the top. It's always like, what the fuck did I just watch? That is classic Japanese commercials.
The fuck did I just watch?
Right. I mean, they used to have brand endorsements with Eddie Murphy yelling out, "Beans!
Beans! Say it! We got something to say, yo! Beans! Good, Sosan! Can coffee beans, Sapporo kara.
You ever seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger ones? Right? Uh-huh. Where he's like, oh!
Chichin, boy, boy!
If you've never watched a series of Japanese commercials, I highly recommend. Pepsi Man is actually like probably the more tame side of what was going on in like 1990s to 2000s in Japan from a commercial setting.
Simon Astor says, let's make a Pepsi Sentai. Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, Pepsi Lime, Vanilla Pepsi, and a secret Six Ranger Crystal Pepsi.
Ooh, yes, please. now I'm on board.
Yeah, I'll say Simon knows Donnie well.
Ducks in Disguise says, Coke Man trades stocks and runs 126 laps around his apartment. Yeah, it's nice to see that despite the social media manager for Pepsi not having any idea that there already was a Pepsi video game, it still lives on in infamy. Now, most likely that's completely due to angry video game nerd. And that's fine. I think it does. It was a real oversight that game never made it to America, because I think it would have done fantastically here.
Oh, of course.
The only thing is, like, I would imagine that people would be like, where the hell did you come up with this whole concept of Pepsi Man? Like, it would have been confusing because obviously Japan already had the commercials, right? But to your point, I think it might be just good enough and wacky enough for people to go, I don't care because this is funny.
Yeah.
Right?
We had our own wacky advertising in the 90s.
Yonoid, Cool Spot.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the other thing. At first, I was completely not on board with the fact of a corporation making a video game, because I'm like, what good can come of it? You know, just them getting more money, more profits and stuff like that. Corporate America, yada, yada, yada. But we did get some cool games out of all of these corporations back in the 80s and 90s trying to jump on that bandwagon. We got Yo Noid. Cool Spot. Cool Spot's okay. It's not great.
It's not as good as Yo Noid, but
It's not as good as Yo Noid, but it's up there.
That could be our next stream. Go get a Pepsi Man emulator.
I'm pretty sure I have a PS1 emulator. I'm pretty sure it's that game's on there.
I would say from what I've heard is that it's frustrating as though.
The 5 stages of Donnie.
No, that's not a thing. Stop trying to make that a thing.
It controls. You ever play that game Too Extreme on PS1?
Doesn't sound familiar.
You know, at the time, everybody was doing X Games stuff, and it was like mountain biking and rollerblading and all that kind of stuff. But it controls like that, where it feels super loose, and it's usually you're going in a straight line away from the camera. Mm-hmm. Occasionally, though, Pepsi Man, you're going towards the camera, which, you know, I love that gimmick in a game. Mm-hmm. You know, I think the only game that I ever enjoyed that was what they pointed out was Crash Bandicoot, and still those levels, you're like, fuck.
I think we should try it.
You get to play it.
Mm.
Oh no! Now it's a bad idea. Oh my God! Rules for thee, but not for me.
Must I remind you that my computer is a potato?
I got to be honest with you, I don't think it requires a whole lot of computers.
Yeah, not for Pepsi Man.
Not to run it, but to run it and then to stream it to you guys. Those two things.
So if we do this, then all of us have to buy Pepsi to drink during it, so we can be like officially branded.
I don't like Pepsi.
I don't like Pepsi.
I like Pepsi better than Coke.
Ugh. I like Coke better than Pepsi.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's okay that you guys are wrong.
Now, if you put Crystal Pepsi in front of me, then all bets are off. Ramboski says, I just like Coke.
I mean, I think we could all agree on that, right?
Say hello to my little friend.
Or should we take Coke while playing? No, that's okay.
No.
That would be a fun stream, though. I bet a lot of people would tune in for that.
You sound like an old person, a 90-year-old person in the 50s. You kids are taking that Coke.
On that note, why don't we go ahead and take a look at our top 3 new releases?
Bendy Lone Wolf. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, nice, Switch, and PC. Set in the Bendy and the Ink Machine universe, Bendy Lone Wolf will test your ability to survive against ever-increasing odds. Monsters and obstacles emerge from every direction as you journey into the rubber hose halls of the world's most evil animation studio. Every day is a challenge. Truth. Rah Rah Boom. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, nice, and PC. Grab your pom-poms and gear up for 4-player co-op action with a modern twist. Rah Rah Boom rockets you to a future Earth overrun by rogue AI. Battle waves of enemies and upgrade your ninja cheerleader skills as you beat them up, shoot them up, and smash through the chaos. Drag X Drive, Switch 2. The next generation of 3-on-3 sports is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Hold each Joy-Con 2 controller like a mouse for tight control of both your wheels as you speed around the court in this wheelchair basketball game. Raise your hand and flick your wrist to shoot and score. Team up with or take on friends and other players from near and far online in fast-paced 3-on-3 matches. Based on these 3 wonderful descriptions, Blue, what are you picking this week?
So Bendy Lone Wolf. I did play through Bendy and the Ink Machine several years ago. There was a lot to like about that game, but also the gameplay itself was just so tedious and clunky. So having watched this trailer, it doesn't show a ton of gameplay. This looks like, instead of whereas Bendy and the Ink Machine was first person, this one looks like it's kind of a top-down isometric third person kind of a thing where you're running Boris through this maze of the hallways, just trying to keep him alive as long as possible. My understanding is it's an endless game. Just it goes until you die. So I could see that working pretty well. I would be willing to maybe give it a try depending on the price point. Because I do think that they do a great job with world building, and they have a lot of horrific moments in there that show that they have a real love of the horror genre. And so for that, I think it's worth giving them at least a chance. Rah Rah Boom, they lost me at Ninja Cheerleaders. I can't be a game about cheerleaders. There's enough else to play. Drag X Drive looks like it should be either a tech demo or it should be a mini game on Mario Party. I don't see where this deserves to have its own like entire game dedicated to this weird use of the two Joy-Cons and playing this way. I could be wrong. Maybe this will catch on like wildfire and people will love it, but I just see it being more of a gimmick than anything else. So of these three, I'm going Bendy and the Lone Wolf.
Nice.
Okay. Ryan, what about you? What's your pick?
Bendy and the Lone Wolf sounds like the nickname of both myself and my college girlfriend.
You were Bendy?
You know me so well. Other than that, I have no idea what this game is about. I'm not familiar with old Bendy games. I was not even tangentially aware that these games existed. So this was my first introduction to it, and I have no idea. But it looks like it's a dungeon crawler / horror survival.
Yeah.
So I need to see more of it to be convinced whether or not it's something I want to check out. But do like the name. Definitely like the name. Drag X Drive looks, and really to quote Stifler from American Pie, that sounds like a lot of work. So having to move forward by utilizing the Joy-Cons this direction and then throw it, I would imagine that like my wrists and forearms would be sore for days afterwards.
You're gonna have carpal tunnel afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, go to the doctors and like, what have you been doing? A lot of drag and drive. You're the 30th person to come in for that reason. So I love the concept. I love the fact that it's like wheelchair basketball. That's really cool and everything. Again, it sounds like a workout, and I'm really not for that. So I want to be lazy with my gaming. And in fact, I think that this game would play just the same with a regular controller. You could certainly play it that way. So I'm curious if they decide to make his pro controller compatible as well. If that were the case, yeah, all in. I would definitely check that out. Which brings up Rah Rah Boom. Awesome. I want to be. The exact reason you were out is the exact reason I'm in. Ninja cheerleaders? Come on. So it's a combination of a few different kind of forms of beat 'em up, right? Obviously, it's your standard beat 'em up, right? Melee action. It's got a shoot 'em ups kind of version to it. You can switch in between, which I think is great. It's got the 4 lanes, which is also, to me, makes it one of the more frustrating parts about playing a beat 'em up, where you're like going up and trying to figure out which plane of existence that person is on. They're always going to be in one of those 4 lanes. So, and it looks, as far as like art style, looks bright, energetic, flashy. I love it. And I love beat 'em ups. So this is the one I am going for sure. Rah Rah Boom. Punch it. We're doing it.
Full set.
Punch it. You got to punch it. Okay.
What about you, Donnie?
So I'm going to start with Drag X Drive. And while I love the concept, regulating us to just one type of play style with the mouse controllers, that I think that's going to kill it for a lot of people. If you give them the choice or give them the option to be able to play with just a regular controller, I think the game could do well. But for me, it's not going to be my choice. Which leaves us with Rah Rah Boom and Bendy Lone Wolf. Now, initially I saw Rah Rah Boom and I like the color scheme. It's wild. It's crazy. I do love me a beat 'em up. I don't know what's going to be able to bring me into this world. You know, you've got your IPs like Golden Axe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and everything else that we've known and love in Streets of Rage. But this is new. So what is it about this game that's going to, as a customer, bring me into this world and keep me there and keep me entertained?
Ninja cheerleaders with big boobs.
I get that, but if
It's not enough of a draw. I get that.
Yeah,
I'm just
exactly.
I think
saying.
what he's
Exactly.
saying, it's a very saturated genre.
yeah, it is
Right
the
now.
wild and crazy thing. All that. It's just like okay. I might check it out. I'm very curious about Bendy Lone Wolf. I loved Bendy and the Ink Machine whenever I first played it, and that was a couple of years ago. Whenever I was streaming, I remember Blue even stopping in and helping me out with that game because there's parts where I got stuck. It just like I couldn't make sense of what was going on with the environments and how it looked. So I love Bendy. I love the horror aspect of this game, but this is a little bit different. Like Blue said, it's that top-down isometric. It seems like a dungeon crawler that doesn't end. I don't know how well that's going to transition over into the Bendy world. Curious, but I don't know if I'm going to rush out and play this game. So right now, I'd say probably I'm not going to rush out and pick any of them, but I'm curious about Bendy Lone Wolf.
He's Bendy curious.
That's a thing now.
Make it an emote.
Bendy
Are you
curious.
Bendy curious? Yes, I am.
All right, before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. Right now, they want to hear stories of your wild gaming setups, whether it's daisy chaining RF modulators together or crazy AV configurations. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
I think for me, the craziest ones are trying to stream CRT-based games to your PC. So
Okay.
taking it from the Nintendo, splitting it off so that it daisy chains out to the TV, and then one other one goes to a box that converts it into HDMI, so that can go into your capture card, and the capture card then go into your PC. All happening simultaneously while you play Duck Hunt.
That's a lot of work for Duck Hunt.
It is.
Yeah.
So that's probably the craziest I've gone. The box for converting it to HDMI, not cheap either. And it's got to have its own power supply. So it's when I remember having somebody come upstairs when I had it set up and going, what the It's like wires all over the place, like the Matrix.
Like you can see in the camera over here. Yeah, this way. I've got one of these, actually 2 of these 9 or 3x3 shelves. So 9 cubbies in each. So a total of 18 cubbies, and each one is filled with a gaming system. I have my Samsung GX TV that you can see over here, and it only has 2 RCA inputs. So realistically, only 2 systems can be plugged in at the same time. Whereas my Trinitron downstairs had I think 3 or 4. I don't have the necessary things to hook all of these RCAs up to a junction box or a switch box and then plug that in. So right now, this is the convoluted setup that I have. I tried to make it all nice and neat by taping the cords on the back and having those, but you go to move one, and all of a sudden the tape peels off, and you're just like, screw it. Now it's just a mess.
Yeah, we have something similar to what Donnie has, where it's, you've got a dozen, 15 consoles that are all arranged, and they're all hooked up, and they all go to switcher boxes, which hook into different things on your TV. So you have to have a spreadsheet of what switch box and what number on each switch box goes to which. And Lord forbid you need to change anything, because then it's this huge deal of, having to unplug a bunch of stuff and redo the spreadsheet. And it's once it's set up, it's like, we're committed to this for life now.
I had a buddy of mine who had a label maker, and he put on the side of the TV, so where the plastic is that goes around the screen, a list of every game console and what setting it was. Right?
Yeah.
And I pointed out to him, I go, if you change anything around,
Yeah.
they're going to fuck up your whole system here. And like the look on his face was kind of like, you're right.
Why'd you have to tell me that?
Right. All right. Well, thank you for coming, students. Please take your seats. Welcome back to Professor Rybread's. Well, this isn't really a gaming history 101. It's not a nostalgia 101, but it's something I came across and I feel like collectively nerds would enjoy. So here is I'll do whatever the hell I want 101. And in preparation for today's lesson, I want you to imagine a universe where Shaggy from Scooby-Doo has a secret. To everyone, he's his usual dopey comic relief self, fumbling into solving crimes. But behind the scenes, he is actually a criminal mastermind that is the leader of a cartel that runs all these wacky schemes to defraud unsuspecting people. How would that make you feel to learn that? Would your immediate response be to write it off as impossible, demand proof, or think I'm crazy? You would be right to do so. Well, similar to this scenario, I've stumbled across a fan theory about the Star Wars universe, where our man, Jar Jar Binks, is in fact the ultimate Sith Lord.
I thought you were bullshit when you said you were going to do this topic.
So, by the way, just to give everybody kind of a clue into this, Blue had said when I told her that I was going to be doing Darth Jar Jar, she said, great, I can tune out. So what I have decided to do, Blue,
Okay.
is there's going to be a quiz at the end. And if you can get all of the answers correct, I will buy you a bottle of scotch.
Proceed.
She is now tuned in. All right. So I find it unlikely, but let's do a quick rundown of the Star Wars universe in the worst way possible. You have space wizards who can channel metaphysical magic known as the Force and use it to engage in combat, manipulate others, and increase their physical and mental prowess. There are two sides to the Force, light and dark, and the light side is the goody two-shoes called the Jedi, who are supposed to be selfless and work for the common good of all. The Sith are the dark side, and they use the Force for their own ambitions, which includes betrayal, deceit, and deeply manipulating others. They've been at war for thousands of years, and the Jedi have usually spanked their dark side brethren, but every time they think they've been eradicated, they come back like acne on a teenager. Both Jedi and Sith teach their young ones via an apprentice system where Sith apprentices usually murder their master when they feel that they have learned all there is to learn. Okay, now that we've covered the basics, let's look at the theory that the most unlikely maniacal genius was right under our noses the entire time. Jar Jar frickin' Binks.
What's a Misa thinking?
The gods. Okay. Jar Jar is widely considered by many fans to be an annoying addition to the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. See, mostly as an unnecessary comic relief. He is not wise, nor brave, nor very coordinated, or so it would seem. He is a member of the Gungan race, which are bipedal, amphibious creatures that hail from the planet of Naboo. They're fierce warriors, but don't seem to be technologically advanced enough to be a spacefaring species. They're typically isolated. As Jar Jar points out, they don't be like it outsiders, and therefore makes them mysterious to those in the Galactic Republic. Now, taking all these facts into account, it would seem extremely unlikely that Jar Jar would be able to ascend to being an all-powerful master of the universe. But what if I could convince you that this is the perfect disguise to alleviate any suspicion of his devious plan? I humbly submit to the court of nerd opinion the following exhibits. Exhibit A. His clumsiness is actually a form of drunken boxing martial arts. Now, watching Jar Jar closely in the Battle of Naboo, he leaps, spins, and evades blaster fire with the kind of fluid reactive movement that's suspiciously similar to drunken boxing fighting. A real-world martial art that disguises the skill under the appearance of randomness. Every time he trips, something critical happens. A droid is destroyed. A weapon is knocked loose, or an enemy squad is disabled. It's chaos, but chaos that consistently benefits him and his allies.
The same thing happened to Mr. Bean.
Darth Bean.
Darth Bean. Flick the Darth Bean. Exhibit B. He is directly involved in the political power grab of Chancellor Palpatine. Now, in Attack of the Clones, Jar Jar steps in for Padme in the Senate and makes one fateful proposal, granting emergency powers to Chancellor Palpatine. That single motion gives Palpatine the legal authority to form the Grand Army of the Republic and push the galaxy towards war. To conspiracy-minded fans like myself, it's too convenient. Of all the senators, it's the naive Gungan who delivers the most important political maneuver in the saga. What a coincidence. Exhibit C. He uses the Force. He's just subtle about it. Now, Jar Jar is oddly persuasive, even when speaking in broken basic and slapstick gestures. He convinces Qui-Gon to take him along despite being banished by Gungan society. He sways Boss Nass towards cooperation and promotion. He pushes Anakin, Padme, and others towards certain decisions with remarkable ease. And these moments often involve hand gestures and eye contact, details consistent with the Jedi and Sith mind tricks. Exhibit D. His seemingly coincidental connection to Palpatine. Both Jar Jar and Palpatine are from Naboo. They interact directly multiple times, and Palpatine shows no disdain towards him. Unusual for someone as manipulative and elitist as the Chancellor. If Jar Jar were secretly Palpatine's master, their cordial relationship would make more sense. Exhibit E. He has the perfect cover. From a narrative standpoint, the ultimate deception is to be underestimated. No Jedi, politician, or bounty hunter would take Jar Jar seriously. That gives him unrestricted access to military briefings, political negotiations, even private conversations, all without suspicion. It's the same principle that makes a spy effective. Be the person no one sees as a threat. And lastly, Exhibit F. The planned twist that never came. Some fans believe Jar Jar was originally intended to be revealed as a villain in episode 2 or 3, but the backlash to his character after The Phantom Menace led George Lucas to abandon the idea. While there's no definitive proof, they point to early storyboard hints and Lucas' fondness for surprise reveals, like the unassuming Yoda being the greatest Jedi Master. So now, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary members of the jury, I implore you, if after today's case you have any doubts creeping into your mind from your previous assumptions about Jar Jar, given this new information, rewatch the prequels and see for yourself. Is Jar Jar really the most badass character in Star Wars? I humbly believe you will see the light, or dark in this case, and realize the truth. Darth Jar Jar is real. All right, Blue, are you ready for your quiz?
Let's do it.
Oh, she cracked them.
Well, as you're familiar, and I pointed out earlier, the Sith deal in betrayal and deceit. There is no quiz. I just wanted you to pay attention the entire time. Thanks for playing.
Well played.
That is even worse than Jar Jar actually being revealed as a Sith Lord. That was diabolical, and I applaud you, sir.
Well played.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So to wrap things up, I hope you enjoyed the lawyerly attempt at explaining a fan theory today. Would actually love to hear what other crazy fan theories I can cover from nerdy books and movies and video games. So please let me know.
Simon asked a very important question.
What is that question?
Does she still get the bottle of scotch?
Absolutely not. No.
But Frank says I deserve some now.
I'm sure you do, but
I paid attention.
My Sith proclivities don't care.
Liar Game Brews.
Thank you for attending, Darth Gamers. Thank you for attending today's Do Whatever the Hell I Want 101. And just a reminder, if you have any ideas for a story you'd like to hear, send us a message at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com, and we might feature your suggestion. So thank you for listening to episode 178 of Gamers Week Podcast. And a big thank you to the Retro Game Club Podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Palm Production Company, and Absolutely the Best Podcast, A Work in Progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. And if you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com. Or if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. Finally, since you made it all the way to the end of the episode, please leave us a rating and a review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. We made it. We did it.
We did it. Blue is still alive.
I am.
And scotchless.
Now I wish I was dead because I'm scotchless.
And Ryan has revealed himself as one of the most diabolical player haters this side of the Mississippi. Well done, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've blown your cover now, though, so.
Oh, you knew I was diabolical before this.
Yeah, that's
diabolical. Fair. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging out with us this evening. We greatly appreciate that. We will be back next week, right here, same bat time, same bat channel. We will say good night. Have yourselves a great evening and a great weekend. We will talk to you next week.
Adios.
Bye.
Adios, muchachos.
Great grand, no yelling on the bus.
No yelling on the fucking bus. What am I doing? What is this?
Where does one get on the fucking bus?
It's Bang Bus.
Through the doors.
Bang Bus was, of course, a very popular internet porno sensation of the mid-2000s. Maybe later. Where the idea was you would pick up somebody in a bus.
Are we talking city bus? Are we talking school bus? An elderly rec center bus?
It was more like a minivan, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah. They've had different variations of like
That's
an
true.
RV.
Or the taxi one.
How would you like to drive for the Bang Bus?
If they pay well, I don't care.
What's their dental like?
Right.
I'm sure they're all very concerned about oral benefits.
Well played.
Yeah.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut.
Welcome to Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. This is the unscripted, patron-only bonus cast with less editing and more dirty jokes. We don't know where the conversation will go, but we're sure it will be weird.
This fish just went right on my nipple, and I'm just like,
I Google Street Fighter 6. The first search result that comes up is people think they can see Ryu's dick in the Street Fighter 6 reveal.
Listen up here, kids. You're not going to want to get one of those VD STDs things, right? Make you fall off. When you go, grab a pro. You'll be doing it for America.
That was perfect.
If you want to hear weekly episodes of our patron-only bonus cast, join us at patreon.com/gamersweek.